Let's begin by correcting something fundamental. Inflammation is not your body betraying you. It is not some malicious force that appeared out of nowhere to ruin your comfort. It is a signal, and signals, by definition, carry information. They are attempts at communication. When your joints ache, when your muscles feel stiff, when there is swelling or heat, your body is speaking. The tragedy is not that inflammation exists. The tragedy is that we've forgotten how to listen. Acute inflammation is protective. It mobilizes immune cells. It repairs tissue. It keeps you alive. But chronic inflammation, that low-grade, persistent hum beneath fatigue and pain, often emerges when the original signal has been ignored. Poor sleep, chronic stress, nutritional chaos, emotional overload. The body compensates for a while, and then it protests. Now this is where herbal support becomes powerful, not as suppression, but as cooperation. Consider turmeric. Its active compound, curcumin, has been shown to influence inflammatory pathways at a molecular level. It doesn't simply numb discomfort, it modulates the biological processes that drive it. Or take ginger. Gingerols work gently but persistently to reduce inflammatory signaling and oxidative stress. And chamomile, often dismissed as just a sleep aid, contains apigenin, which calms both inflammatory responses and the nervous system that amplifies pain perception. Notice the pattern here. These aren't blunt instruments. They are regulatory. They help restore balance. And psychologically, that matters. Because when you approach your pain as an enemy, you declare war on your own biology. But when you approach it as feedback, you move into partnership with yourself. A warm cup of herbal tea may seem simple, almost trivial in a culture obsessed with aggressive solutions. But simplicity is not weakness. It is often wisdom. It is a deliberate decision to respond rather than react. So instead of asking, how do I silence this pain? Perhaps the better question is, what is my body asking of me? Because when you learn to interpret the signal rather than suppress it, you don't just reduce inflammation, you restore alignment. Now once you understand that inflammation is a signal, something meaningful rather than malicious, the next mistake we tend to make is expecting a dramatic rescue. We live in a culture that worships immediacy. If something hurts, we want it gone now. And there's a place for acute intervention, of course. But chronic inflammation and persistent pain rarely dissolve through intensity. They dissolve through consistency. The body is rhythmic. It responds to patterns. What you do once has very little impact. What you do daily reshapes biology. Consider green tea. Its catechins, particularly EGCG, exert anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects, but not like a lightning strike. They work cumulatively. A single cup won't transform you. But a cup every morning for months? That begins to alter oxidative stress levels and inflammatory signaling in measurable ways. The same is true for peppermint. Menthol gently relaxes smooth muscle tissue and can ease tension-related discomfort, especially in the digestive system. It's subtle, but subtle, repeated daily, becomes significant. And then there's rosehip, rich in vitamin C and polyphenols, compounds that help reduce inflammatory markers over time. Again, not explosive, not dramatic, but steady. Here's the deeper psychological layer. We often abandon small practices because they don't produce immediate proof. We equate intensity with effectiveness. But the physiology of healing is closer to compound interest than to a jackpot. Tiny, repeated inputs accumulate. Cells respond. Systems recalibrate. Pain sensitivity can lower gradually as inflammation decreases and oxidative stress stabilizes. This principle extends beyond tea. It applies to sleep, movement, emotional regulation. The nervous system relaxes through repetition. The immune system stabilizes through rhythm. Consistency signals safety to the body. So when you prepare that daily cup, morning or evening, you're doing more than consuming a beverage. You're establishing a ritual. You're sending a message to your own biology. I am tending to this. I am paying attention. And that may be the most powerful intervention of all. Because dramatic action is impressive, but disciplined consistency is transformative. Now here's something that is often underestimated. Pain is not purely a structural issue. It is neurological. It is interpretive. The same level of tissue damage can produce radically different levels of pain depending on the state of the nervous system. And when that system is chronically stressed, when cortisol is elevated, when sleep is fragmented, when the mind is constantly scanning for threat, inflammation increases and pain amplifies. This is not abstract theory. It is biology. Stress hormones influence immune signaling. A hypervigilant nervous system sensitizes pain receptors. Over time, the body becomes better at producing discomfort. That's not a flaw in design, it's adaptation. But it's adaptation in the wrong direction. So if we're serious about reducing inflammation and pain, we cannot ignore the nervous system. This is where certain herbal infusions operate on two levels at once. Take holy basil, often called tulsi. It's classified as an adaptogen, meaning it helps regulate the stress response. It doesn't sedate you into passivity, it supports balance. Then there's lemon balm, which has mild calming properties that can ease anxiety and promote restorative sleep. And sleep, of course, is when inflammatory repair processes are recalibrated. And consider boswellia, traditionally used for joint discomfort, known for compounds that influence inflammatory pathways directly. Notice what's happening here. These herbs don't simply target the joint or the muscle. They target the system. They calm the alarm. And when the alarm quiets, the body reallocates resources toward repair rather than defense. Psychologically, this matters even more. Because when you are perpetually tense, you live as if you are under attack. And a body that believes it is under attack behaves accordingly. But when you create small daily rituals that calm the system, a warm cup in your hands, a deliberate pause, a slow breath, you signal safety. Safety reduces vigilance. Reduced vigilance lowers inflammatory amplification. Lower inflammation decreases pain perception. So perhaps pain relief is not only about fighting harder. Perhaps it's about calming deeper. If you want your body to heal, you must give it a reason to feel safe.